Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Kill the Cat episode 25. Sharp Teeth. 25 episodes. Pretty wild. It's kind of a party episode tonight. I'm going totally off script. I don't really have my clipboard like I normally do. Okay, but I got my guitar over here. I got a book over here that you guys might be interested in. We'll talk about it later because it's my book. That's right. If you haven't purchased it, you should. It's called The Happiness Machines. Wonderful little short story compilation of 7 different short stories. I'll make a little personal video about that at another date. I want to say thank you to my 70 subscribers who are diligently paying attention, and the 86% of you that simply, well, haven't hit the subscribe button. That's okay. You do you, boo-boo, all right? Like we said last time. Thank you, Cat Williams. You do you there. You do what you need to do in your life. Why are we doing this episode? Okay, well, yes, there's no clipboard. Usually I have a clipboard. We do little intros. I kind of follow a script, so perhaps I'm just secretly trying to counter the fact that I went totally corporate last week, and this week I've got to change it up because I'm feeling kind of feisty. Well, guess what? I know you're feeling feisty out there. To get right down to it, and what is right down to it? Well, friends, I have a joke for you. Are you ready for this joke? I love jokes. I was born April Fool's Day, so I guess my whole life is kind of all about, being sort of funny, even though sometimes certain things aren't funny. I love humor 100% of the time, as long as it's good humor. I don't like some BS, if you will. So here's the joke, and this episode might be shorter, but, hey, let's just go through the motions, shall we? It's sort of like long relationship sex. I don't know too much about that stuff, right? But I think if you can get laid 4 days, I think if you can get laid 4 days a week, sorry. I think if you can get laid 4 days a month, that's fantastic. Now, of course, would it be great? Yes, all the time. But those at home, I know who you are, who are in relationships, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. 4 times a month for busy people, that's not so bad. But that's not even the joke, okay? That was like some other bad joke I said about sexual behavior. I am a single man, so that is important. Anywho, here's the scoop, okay? Point 1. I'm sitting there. It's a bodega, 8:30 in the morning, talking to my Yemenese friend, Jimmy. Great guy. Yes, he was born in Yemen, been in New York a long time, runs a bodega, kind of my spiritual guidance, older uncle, if you will. Awesome guy. Just shout out, Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, he's missing his cat, by the way. Anybody who stole his cat, you better watch out and bring that cat back really fast. This is Kill the Cat Radio, but we don't do no killing of cats around these parts, if you know what I mean. Kill the Cat Radio is about curiosity. Satisfaction brought it back, so took Jimmy's cat, I will murder you. Long story short, okay, I'm sitting there with Jimmy getting a cup of coffee, 8:30 in the morning. Everything is going well. This gentleman walks into the bodega. He's an older, not old, I don't want to say older man, but he's like in his probably like later 60s. He's one of those guys who have a lot of hair coming out of his chest, but it's gray and he doesn't care anymore. And it's almost coming out of his back too. Basically, like he looks like a werewolf, like he's been a werewolf for a long time, turns out. He's just an elevator repairman and just a working class hero. Anywho, he comes in, and I don't know why he centers this on me. It's such a weird joke to say, but it's kind of the joke of the day. He says, you ever hear that one about the lady? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know the one about the lady. Well, you see this lady, she's getting older, right? So she's like 45, kind of maybe 50 years old. Okay. This is not the way he said it. He's an elevator repairman. He said it more in a gruff Brooklyn manner. This is the Matthew version of it. You got this lady, and she's kind of getting older, whatever, 45, 50, and she's like, oh, I'm getting older, whatever. She's kind of depressed or whatever. That's the joke. She's basically, age has and life has now come back to her to, reap its revenge. Oh my God, I gotta get better at telling jokes. Okay, lady who's 45 years old, sitting there, doesn't know what's going on, walks out of the bodega or whatever. She walks right into the road, gets run over by a car, but somehow she survives. Okay, so something is very good going on. Everything is fine. She survives the entire thing. So everything's cool. She wakes up, she says, oh my God, God, she says, thank you so much for saving me. Please, I thought it was all over for me. What, could I get 30 years, please, God? And God's like, what? And she's like, no, just 30 years, please. Just, can I have another 30 years? I thought I was going to die. Can I have another 30 years? And God's like, yeah, okay, cool. No problem. Yeah, sounds good. So he grants her 30 more years, and she's happy. She's happy as a clam. He's happy. Everybody's happy. She leaves. She's like, oh my God, I got 30 more years on the planet. This is amazing. She goes out there, gets all gussied up, dressed to the nines. She's got the good heels, right? Nice dress. maybe even a facelift or something. She spends her money. She's making money. She's doing great. She's looking fantastic. Now she's like 52. She's feeling great. Everything's going well. Okay. Things are going fantastic for this woman. Walks out of her house, gets hit by a bus. And, it's just done. Hits by a bus. Finished. Okay. She goes to God and she says, hey, you said I had another 30 years. God looks her up and down and says, oh, it's you. I didn't even recognize you. Now, I can tell that joke a million different ways, but if you're smart, you'll laugh your ass off. It's got to be horrible to tell jokes for a living. I would never want to be a comedian. People are always saying, oh, you should be a comedian. I disagree with them 100%. Think about that. I didn't even recognize you. Friends, the reason why that joke is so hilarious is because in the end, yes, nothing is promised. So even if you do get your wish to be able to survive, in the end, you still could get run over by a bus tomorrow. This is the point. I found it to be hilarious. I also thought it was really funny that some elevator repairman werewolf, mind you, told me the joke at a bodega here in New York City on a street corner there in Brooklyn. I find that to be hilarious. I guess that's parts 1, 2, and 3. I'm very pleased that this is our 25th episode. Thanks for keeping with it. Thanks for being a fan of me. I'm a fan of you. You know that. It's been a great time here talking to all of you 25 episodes later. Plus, I want you guys to kind of look back into the archive of Kill the Cat Radio. You're going to see a couple different styles of Kill the Cat Radio. Like, this is Sharp Teeth. This is me sort of picking apart things here with you and me, just sort of like criticizing the world. And then the Kill the Cat Radio Cinephilia. There's only 2 of those. That's when I do my movie reviews, where I get all like kind of excited about a movie. Thus far, I think we have Roadhouse and Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So I don't know. The other way you should look into Kill the Cat Radio as well is to kind of go back into our archives. We have a portion called 2 Mics, and that's when I was really starting this whole thing, and it was just 2 people, 2 microphones, no camera, no one's on camera. And it was just kind of like a longer experience that most podcasts do, but is only for your listening pleasure. It was weird to put myself on camera. Oh, look what I found. I found a mini version of what we normally have. Isn't that funny? I told you this is a joke. This episode seriously is sort of a joke, but I'm okay with it. It's a good joke for me. So yeah, here's my so we'll just pretend we're doing like the show like normal. All right. So that was point 1, 2, and 3, telling a funny joke from a strange werewolf at a bodega this morning at 8:30 here in Brooklyn, New York City of the U.S. Let's look here at my little joke thing here. I've learned from the best. Again, I'll give a couple shout outs. Gary at Neurotic, Happy Paris. Who else? Critical Drinker, love him. There's a lot of people who really inspired me to do what I was doing. I did this already. I already gave shout outs before, and I'll do another episode of podcasters and YouTubers who I think are great. Meanwhile, I was sitting there after I heard that joke, just reeling how funny it was. To me, it's just like, just go back and listen to it again. It's like the lady almost dies. I said it once. I'm not going to say it again. I can't do it any better. I'm not a comedian. But not more than maybe an hour to 2 hours later, after I heard that joke, I came back to the house, here at the offices of the Villa Borghese, and I just thought to myself, wow, that's just hilarious. I get a text from a guy I used to work for who's having an endoscopy, which is, they got to go in there and get in there. I've been through way too many of these, but they won't let you leave the premises unless you have somebody who's going to help you get home or what have you. Now, I know this man personally. Older gentleman, not older, but like whatever. He's just, he's an older guy. He's a tough guy, though. Very tough guy. Shout out to you, Rick. He was having this terrible operation happen. Now, what they do to you is they give you a bunch of drugs, like this little fentanyl drug, right? To put you down while they go into your throat. And they do the same thing with colonoscopies. They got to go in that way too, but they got to give you a drug for it. So I get a text saying like, hey, Matt, are you going to be available? Maybe, come maybe be in the city or something. Now, I had no money at all. That's what's funny. Okay. So I had nothing just on me, right? Like I just had to go. It was kind of like quick thinking at that point, right? But I needed money to get in the city. Now I could just like easily rob my way into the subway. It's not hard. You jump the turnstile. If you're skinny enough, you can like scoot by. Okay. I'm not advocating it. MTA, I'm not advocating it out loud. I don't want to get sued. Anywho, I don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. I just happen to not have the proper materials. I run back to that same bodega, to the same gentleman, my buddy, the Yemenese friend of mine. I say, hey, can I have $5? And he just looks at me. He's like, whatever you got to do, Matt, have fun. I'm like, right on. Oh, it's some pretty funny stuff. But yeah. So anyway, so I go into the city And I go to the hospital. Now I hate hospitals because I had unfunny things happen to me in my life. I've been in these kind of hospitals before. So I get in and boom, okay, everything's cool and it's great. And I pick up my friend, but he's out of it, because after an endoscopy, it sucks. It's like you're out of it. You have no idea what's going on. You're just kind of on drugs, whatever. But I really wanted to help him. And you don't want anybody. And when someone's in your care, you really want to make sure that they're safe and happy and healthy and everything's cool. So anyways, I walk him about 20 blocks from the hospital to his home because in New York City there's short blocks. Tell he's like there, but he's still kind of on drugs. You gotta help people out, make sure they kind of calm down a little bit because they can get lost, and in New York City you can just get run over. It's kind of like a funny addendum to the joke story. So yeah, this episode's kind of a little like whatever, it's all over the place. So I just reflected on the day. And I realized, wow, what a strange day today. It was like, I'm gonna make a program about this. I'm gonna do episode 25, Sharp Teeth. I can't believe we hit 25 episodes. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I want to thank everybody who keeps subscribing. I want to thank everybody who likes the videos. I want to thank all you guys for commenting below and sending me emails and little messages and texts and such. Another talkback thing I believe someone said was, what's your obsession? What's this whole cat thing? Kill the cat, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. If you know the old phrase, what killed the cat? Curiosity. So it's actually a genius title, but everybody keeps like, what are you going to do to cats? I'm like, nothing. What are you talking about? I love kitties. But thank you so much for being a member to this channel. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button below, leave a comment, hit the like button, follow me. Thanks for joining us from episode 1. You can go back and laugh at me and how silly I looked. I think that was way back in February of this year. So yeah, I look a little different. It's been an interesting year. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You are here at Kill the Cat Radio. You are here at episode 25 of the program called Sharp Teeth. That's what we got right here. See that? Werewolf teeth. Shout out to my werewolf friends out there and the ones who tell really great jokes. We will talk to you very soon. Thank you very much for being a member here. I will talk to you next time. I have a new joke to tell. Get ready for episode 26. It's going to get interesting. Peace and love, guys. Bye.